Daddy's back.
Yo, what's poppin'? All my peeps, it is I, your host with the most, Renaissance man, who always thinks he can, and champion of the peeps, Patty Pitt's back in the yard streams for another edition of the Raw Rewind, part of Pitts and Sara's wrestling show, where we take no nights off. And obviously, you can't have the Raw Rewind without the best of the West. You can't forget about Sara Marshall. What's popping, girl?
Hey, yo.
Hello.
What's popping? How we dern?
It's going.
It's a little Tuesday for you. We got our peeps here. We got David, Dickie Martinez. Rob was good. Good? That's a good way to put it.
It was good. It was good, yeah.
It was like, okay. Like, all right. Blind reaction. Ooh, Urban Nation. It's going is good.
Yeah.
Damn right, man. Damn right.
Yeah.
That's what we're saying. That's what we're saying. Like, I don't know. I want your thoughts on this overall before we deep dive into the meat and potatoes of this. But we've seen a lot of Raw where it was matches. Matches back to back to back, it feels like. Last night we had a lot of promos and backstage segments and sprinkled in with a few matches, but they got time. Short but sweet. What are your thoughts on that?
I think they have a long time between now and the Royal Rumble, and they have to do it. There's going to be shows like this, like sprinkled in there, because it's another like 6 or 7 weeks or whatever it is until the Rumble. So they can't be having all these matches because they're trying to set up feuds that are going to be able to continue until the Rumble. And so if they just keep having those matches happen, then what is exciting about whatever the matches are at the Royal Rumble outside of the Rumble matches? Like I was even kind of surprised that they had the Cody Shinsuke match, which I'm guessing, I'm like, are you just not, is that going to be over by the Rumble?
You knew some finicky was going to go on there.
Yeah, so I think that otherwise, it's gonna have to be this way because there's only so much that they can do to like stretch these things out in order for us to still be interested without it getting stale with so many weeks left until the next show.
You're gonna have these weeks. I think you hit the nail right on the head that you can't have weeks back to back at this point with matches stacked up against each other. You need to let things blossom into something. You need to let feuds happen. Yeah. And even if what you're teasing now isn't the feud you have for a Rumble, at least you're teasing something in the right direction. And I'm alluding to something that happened last night. But you're planting the seeds right now. And that's what last night was. If you appreciate good storytelling or just wrestling in general, you definitely enjoyed Raw last night. So I think anyone would agree there. So what happened on Raw though, Sara? What happened? Yeah, Yeet's back. Yeet.
I don't even care.
Yeet.
Okay, stop. So Jey Uso kicks off the show, which I think it had been rumored that Drew versus Jay was going to open the show. So Jay coming out, it was like, okay, cool. And he didn't say a whole lot other than that Yeet is back, which I just said that last week when we were talking about it. I was like, they're gonna pay off this dude. Like, there's no way they're just going to be like, oh, okay, someone already trademarked it, we can't use it. No, they're not going to want to miss out on that opportunity because people weren't going to stop chanting it. And then they had already sold the shirts and they probably already had a bunch made. And it was unavoidable. So
probably made more than what they made already to pay off the dude. So
yeah. So he debuted a new shirt. It was a blue Yeet shirts, and so after getting the crowd excited about that, he also let everyone know that he was excited that CM Punk was back. Which I love how it's like this is becoming a thing now where somebody is just randomly saying something like, "Oh, I'm so glad about Punk," or like someone else is like, "I don't like Punk." It's like, what are we doing? Like this has nothing to do with Punk, but obviously it's playing a bigger part. So I just thought that was interesting.
Okay.
And he
I'm
calls out
watching.
Drew. And this part, I'm kind of confused about what this means, but calls out Drew and calls him two-faced based on his actions towards Sammy last week. And I'm not really sure how is he two-faced because he attacked Sammy. I'm not. That wasn't made clear to me.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of off the top of my head is the innocence, where Drew's saying, "Oh yeah, all is fair, love, and war," like all that, that tension that they were having in their backstage segments. Maybe Jay was on the side of Sammy, where he's thinking, "Oh yeah, it's respect, whatnot." Like he didn't understand his ulterior motives because it's character. The dramatic irony, if you want
It
to call
was
it, but that's the only thing I can think of, and I'm reaching there.
Yeah, I
I'm
just
reaching.
felt like that was weird. This whole storyline is weird, okay? Like the whole thing with Drew is weird to me, and it got weirder.
Yeah.
I feel like when Drew came out, I'm so team Drew, but this is a part that was very confusing. So Drew comes out, obviously, he followed the rules. He was talked about, so he came out and he said, first of all, he addressed CM Punk, which we know that there was the video of Drew just walking out and he was allegedly mad. So he is continuing with that too. But because Jay brought it up, he was like, I don't want Punk in the locker room. Nobody does. He's going to destroy it from the inside out. I know him really well because we traveled the world together and I know exactly how he is and what he does. And it's only a matter of time before it all goes to crap again, basically. And I was like, that's a lot of what people have been saying. So I don't really see that as a reach. So he went straight into saying he said Sammy got what he deserved, basically, because he ran his mouth and he crossed the line by talking about Drew's family, where duh. And he said he's sorry. And he said, CJ, that's how you apologize. And then this is the part, this is it. Then he gets the crowd involved because, of course, the crowd is like, the crowd
Yeah,
doesn't know
this
what they
was
feel.
good.
The crowd they don't know how to feel. Okay. They're chanting CM Punk, right? And it's like, okay, cool. But then he goes in and he's saying, like, hey guys, like if somebody did something to your family member, your loved one, your father, your mother, your brother, your sister, your son, your daughter, whatever, wouldn't you want to seek revenge on them for doing something that hurt them? And they all were like, yeah. And then it was like, well, wouldn't you want to do that for yourself too? And they were like, yeah. And so it was weird because they're all saying, yeah, Drew, we get it. And then it's like, because he's going against Jay, they're like, screw you, Drew. I would never defend my family. Like he called out that one guy in the audience being like, that guy didn't even raise his hand to like defend his
He
family. And the
did
guy's
kind
like,
of put him on the spot. I gotta give you, he put him on blast.
but I'm like, but that's the thing is like, that's why this whole angle is so confusing. And I mean, it's not confusing to me because I'm Team Drew in this situation because
Well, hashtag
logically
team
he makes
heels.
sense. Well, I do have a love for heels. However, this isn't being a
No,
heel.
this is
it,
I'm literally about to say is that this is the most logical heel turn in wrestling history
and
because you have this heel turn so that he can go against the guy like the good guys and go on this mean streak. But
mhm,
the way he's doing it, yes, it's what a heel would do and someone to spark their villain arc, but it's so logical
yeah,
and reasonable and hits with the fans that like, oh, absolutely I do that.
yeah.
So essentially you're basically calling out the fans for being villains themselves, but then it's like, whoa, like it's a really mind pretzeling heel turn.
It's almost like they don't want to go full heel with him or something, or they just didn't want to think about a bigger reason or like I don't know, like a different path for him to go down to become a heel, because I think that they're trying to use this almost as like the basis of it, but it's almost trying to become like the background, because it's like, okay, so he went after Sammy's knee purposely and was like trying to injure him. Then he
Yes.
attacked him backstage. So it's like those are the two, the easiest things for someone to do to try and get heat. And it's like, but that didn't really work. That like it did, but it didn't, right? Because if it did,
Yeah.
none of those people in the audience would have been cheering for him, no matter what he was asking.
Yeah.
And then he has the match with Jay, which will, I mean, it was a fine
Let's
match,
talk about it.
but it was a physical match, and he ends it by like trying to gouge Jay in the eyes, which again, it's like a cheating tactic, like a thing that they would assume would get people to hate him, but it's like not really though. Like he's not doing a whole lot to be hated, and it's like, and then if you're using, oh well, I'm just mad because they did the bloodline did this to me, and then all these guys are defending Jay and saying I'm the dramatic one. It's like, yeah, I get it, they're gaslighting you. Like
Yeah.
I can understand that. So I feel like, are they trying to make him a bad guy? Are they not? Like, is Triple H not capable of like really going in on a heel turn? Like, why are we not making it so much easier for everyone to hate Drew?
Because he didn't officially align himself with the Judgment Day, and because he didn't do that, he's not full-blown heel, because those are the full-blown heels on the roster right now, and
Mm-hmm.
the ultimate babyface is Cody Rhodes. So if you take it like a spectrum, like,
Yeah.
he's obviously, like, right here with Judgment Day, but you're still gonna cheer for him because he's like F Judgment Day.
Mm-hmm.
He just wanted to use them, which any person seeking revenge, like anyone who just wants to like whatever, they do. And then he's like, "Yeah, screw it, I'm out. I don't need you. I'll kick Dom in the face.
Yeah.
JD, I'll hit another whatever kick, Claymore, put him through a table, like it doesn't matter, and I'll steal your briefcase too." Like that's why he's not a heel,
Yeah.
because you have to really like align yourselves with a heel. And it's a very complex heel turn that we're trying to do right now, but it works with Drew, right? Drew's story arc, whatever.
I think also though, it really does make you look into who are heels right now in WWE, even since Triple H took over. And I wouldn't say that there is any like hardcore heel right now. Because the Judgment Day, even they're like not really. It's like they're hated, but they're not.
They are.
It's like they're not. It's Dominic, but that's like
JD too. No
not
one
real.
wants.
Stop it right now. That's not true.
He's
JD
getting the
does,
same heat.
but because he's with Dominic. But what I'm saying is like there's nobody that people just like, oh, like I hate him. You know what I mean? It's like there's not really anyone that's really like that right now.
Yeah,
And
there's not.
and I that's kind of a problem, I would say. You really can't have these like over the top baby faces, and both shows are like crowded with baby faces. Like you can't
Really,
have that
really.
many and then they don't have an equal counterpart. I
They
mean,
don't. I mean,
especially going into Rumble and Mania, like I mean, we'll talk about like, even with Punk and Seth, it's like that's fine, but it's like then we're even exploring the idea of turning Seth, and it's like, yeah, cuz like you don't have anybody to like actively hate. I mean, even Rhea
yeah.
Ripley gets cheered for. She's supposed to be hated.
No one's gonna boo mommy.
But that's what I'm saying. Like that's a problem though,
I don't think that's a problem.
You
Mommy, I
understand.
don't think mommy specifically, but yes, I
No,
see
I'm
your point.
saying that it's
I
like
see your point.
she's not hated enough. She's not done enough to be hated is what I mean.
She needs to whack
Um
someone with a chair.
Maybe I don't know.
That gets people hated immediately. I don't know.
But speaking of Rhea, we'll just get into this really quick. So there's
Let's
more
talk about it.
tension within the Judgment Day because Rhea and Finn were not there last week, and Rhea wasn't too pleased about what went on in her absence, specifically R-Truth just joining the Judgment Day
I mean,
basically.
fair point to
Um
be pissed about.
And Finn goes in on JD and Dom about what happened when he was gone as well, including Dominic obviously losing the NXT North American Championship, which they seem to like not give a crap about, which I was like,
Oh, they were
okay.
just like, "Yeah, Dom, congrats, your little toy is over. Like,
Yeah,
you're
it's
done
like
playing with that
whatever. I'm
toy."
like, alrighty.
You're not
And then Rhea comes up and she defends all of them. And then she goes after Damien, saying that he wants to be the leader, but just by taking the title, but that he doesn't actually do anything productive while being the leader. Finn and JD seem to enjoy that, which I was dying. I am obsessed with Finn Balor, dude. He is like becoming more Jimmy like, where he's so unserious.
so unserious. It's
And I
so
love it.
funny.
I think I almost feel like he's purposely trying to get someone to crack.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, no, that's definitely where his role's at right now in Judgment Day.
yeah, that was
"Look
like
at that,
Sami
she's like."
Zayn in the Bloodline. It feels like Finn is like that's him now, because why is he in the background like like enjoying it is like hilarious. So I was like, I am
And
so
his
here for
little
this.
snarky comments, like, he just stirs the pot. You gotta listen to it, like,
I
he
love it.
stirs the pot.
I love it though. He's so good. I'm so happy about the Judgment Day for him. This is what he needed. So, Rhea says that she wants the disrespect to stop and that she needs to go out there and remind everybody that they run Raw, which she basically did against Maxine Dupree.
Actually, I
And
mean,
I don't
well,
really have a whole lot to say about that match because it was a rough match, which I give Maxine a
that's more.
pass because she's so green. Like, I'm
Yeah,
kind of
oh,
I'm kind of confused why they even decided that this should have been a match. I don't
it was
I think
yeah, I could
it was
no,
the end.
go.
It was the end. That was
It
it.
was the end, but I could also see them putting this match together because Maxine's been on TV and getting these matches in NXT. So then you put her up against Mommy, the top of the division, and you see
Mhm.
how dominated she got. And it's like, "Oh, okay, she's not a contender for Rhea. Okay, she should be fighting this person." Like, you're kinda just on the ride for Maxine's journey,
Yeah.
kayfabe style,
Mhm.
and you have to look at it from that point of view, or else you're gonna be, like, really scratching your head and trying to find answers that just aren't there.
Yeah, so it basically was just for the stare down at the end of the match
That's
between
yeah.
Rhea and Ivy, and I was here for this because I'm not familiar really with how Ivy looks in the ring. I haven't really seen her that much other than like the Battle Royal. I haven't seen her in like one-on-one matches, so I can't speak to that. But I did like this, and I feel like obviously this is setting a match up for the future, and
Mhm.
I'm curious how they're going to go about it because it could be a match at the Rumble, but then the idea of them not having Ivy in the Royal Rumble seems odd to me. Um, so
Yeah, they could still
yeah,
put her in the Rumble.
I doubt that they'll have her in a match
I
with
They
Rhea
could.
and then put her in the Rumble.
I
They
also
can,
would
but
be
I doubt
very
it.
shocked if they put her in a match versus Rhea at the Rumble. Like, I could see her facing Rhea in, like, a, elimination chamber with, like, 5 other women,
Or even like
4 other
the
women.
New Year Raw, which they're trying
Yeah,
to
like the
build
day
up
1
already.
Raw or
Mhm.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like that would make more sense.
I
And
could see
then
that.
Rhea might not even have a match of the Rumble. I mean, we don't know. Like, it depends on how that goes. Like, it's not. It wouldn't be shocking that there aren't a lot of title matches at the Rumble because, like, it.
That's the only I agree. That's the only pay-per-view where you have to go in thinking, "Okay, you're gonna get 1, 2, maybe 3 regular matches, and now with 2 Rumbles, like, it's the Rumble and that's it." Like, that's what you pay for. Like,
Yeah,
that out in the open before any peeps are in the comments, like, "I wish they had this match and this match." It's like, yeah, it's great, but, like, you have to remember the Royal Rumble itself, the match takes an hour and a half.
yeah.
When it's
Well, and
done
it
well.
should be, and it should be.
Absolutely should be.
Yeah,
And
and both of them because it's not like, oh yeah, let the men do whatever and then cap the women. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
you
no.
you want to see them have long matches, and I mean, I don't. I think that if they're going to tease this with Rhea, then they have to have the match before the Rumble because if they had it at the Rumble, then Rhea has to immediately move on to whoever wins the Rumble.
Yeah, just
Um,
not yeah, I agree. It's
Possibly. I
like
mean, whoever
too
it is
but it's
could
too
choose
quick,
Io.
yeah. Well, I could choose EO, but no, I think we're gonna get Personally, I think we're gonna get Bailey.
Well, she's gonna choose Io, so that's what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's not choosing Rhea. But yeah, so we'll have to see how that goes. I'm excited for it though, because I would say Ivy, even though she's small, she's definitely one of the like more, I would say, competitive opponents that Rhea has been
Mm-hmm.
teased with recently. So anyway, do you want to I saw we have comments.
Oh yeah, I'm like, let's get some comments. There's some comments here. Drew definitely heel now from Dickie Martinez. Yeah.
I think he's a heel, he's just not, it's not
An
solid enough.
anti-hero.
Yeah, it's not solid enough.
And then Dickie also two types of heel, the cool heels, douchebag heels, like Gunther, all that, who do get cheers. Then you have the Doms, Theories, Wallers who get booed. I'm gonna let you take that one, Sarah, as the heel girl is more the face.
I agree, but I feel like Theory in Waller and stuff, like they haven't I don't even know how to just like say what I'm trying to say. I feel like they haven't done a whole lot. It's almost like people just don't like them, and that's why they're booing them. And it's not really because of the things that they do necessarily. It's just like I don't like Austin Theory, so I'm gonna boo him.
Do
I
you
feel
think
like
it's the punchable face?
I don't think that he has a punchable face though. Like I mean,
I
if you're
see. I
trying to
get
just say
that.
with Kevin Owens, but
No, I think he's he just punchable face. Him and
I
Wallace have punchable faces.
I don't agree, but
Okay.
I think with Drew, I can see him being one of the like cooler heels, like what he means, but at the same time, I feel like they want him to be like not that surface level type of heel because like Gunther doesn't get cheered. If he did,
Gunther does not get cheered.
no,
Awesome.
except for me when I'm just like, oh my god, I was so excited that they were on TV last night together.
I love it. Was great. I love seeing the Miz too. You know,
No.
always nice seeing him pick up a win.
All right.
I thought that one. That was very good. The champ's got jokes today. Wow. New question or comment, whatever. I doubt Ivy and Rhea for the title. I think it'll be non-title, just like Maxine. I think Ivy gets a good showing, though. That I will agree with. That Ivy is going to be a lot better than Maxine. She's been doing this for, I think, a year or two longer in the WWE, at least, than Maxine. And she was pretty solid down in NXT. That it's obviously not going to be like a squash match, but she's going to hold her own.
I think that I think she's going to get a title shot before the Rumble. I think that they might have a match and then maybe two matches or something, and maybe Ivy almost gets the best of her or she beats her one of the two times or something like that, and then they'll do it, because I really wouldn't be surprised if they want Rhea to have a title match before the Rumble.
My thing would if she's gonna get the win, like, do you make it clean?
No, I don't think that she gets outside interference necessarily, but maybe she just like gets a schoolboy or something. You know what I mean? Like she's gonna do something where it's like, oh, what? How did that happen? You know what I mean? And Rhea's like more pissed off.
Where she's like wrestled.
Where she like wants to make sure she asserts her dominance and is like, I'll put my title on the line because I'm not scared of you. Like you got a lucky win, blah blah blah. You know, that typical BS that they do.
We got Urban Nation waiting for Twisted Bliss to return with Lily. Me too, man. All right, if she wasn't
she just had her baby.
recently, yeah, Hendrix. Shout out Alexa Bliss. If she just didn't have the kid, then I would be saying, yeah, she would be a Rumble return.
Yeah, no, she won't be back by then. No,
ooh,
I would assume not. Yeah.
Oh, Sara.
What?
Or do I have an idea for you?
Can I say one thing? I don't think she'll come back with Lily. I don't think she'll come back with Lily.
No, I don't think Lily will come back.
I think that that'll be too hard with Bray gone. It'll be too hard.
Do we see an Alexa Bliss return after WrestleMania?
Oh, I don't know. That's quite a ways away, though. I don't know if she needs that much time, but I guess it just depends.
But if there was a time to return,
I guess possibly.
Oh, I can't wait. That'd be so cool. That would be so cool. We'd be there. I finally made it to a live.
Yay! Welcome. What is up?
To the The storm is coming. Zoe is so good. Can't wait to see more from her. I'd like to
I
see
know.
Zoe.
She wasn't even on last night. I mean, I think a lot of it was storytelling. So
Yes.
like she's not an active participant in this like storyline right now. So
Yeah.
I mean, what
Uh,
about her versus Trish at Mania? I
See,
wouldn't
that's
have.
where you stack the card. Like that. See, that's where you can just stack the card.
Yeah.
Make it.
It's Mania 40. Put Trish on it. You know?
She was. Yeah. She would have fought everyone but 30. Like 20.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever point is. Okay. Moving on. Next topic. What we
And
got?
I forgot about this, the other little
My
Judgment Day.
dude.
Um,
So
yeah,
sad, bro.
so because mommy was all upset about what was going on with Mr. R Truth while she was not at Raw, she wanted them to figure it out and get the record set straight with him because she could not even believe that he had broken into the clubhouse multiple times as if it's an actual room. But we
I
have to
love
just
that. I
believe.
love that kayfabe. See, I
We
love that
have to believe.
kayfabe's still a little there. It's like the Polar
So
Express. It's really
so
like the Polar Express.
they all get in the ring and they just declare Raw is their show again. They put everybody on notice that they're not the ones to mess with because they run the show. Blah, blah, blah. We love it. Judgment Day, we stand, right? And then our Truth comes out and he talks about how he has some ideas because, he was just trying to get into the clubhouse, but the door was locked and he was just trying to like decorate for Christmas in there. But they wouldn't let him in. So
Rude.
JD initially yells at him and is like, "What the hell, man? Get out of here." And Damien's like, "No, I want to hear what he has
Take
to say."
take it easy. Take it easy.
Yeah. So he says that he has a couple suggestions, and the first one is that he thinks that they should kick JD out because everyone hates him. And I was like, "Oh my god, that's
Just
so
the
mean."
jugular. Just
That
right
is.
for the jugular.
And then he also let Damien know that he is not the boss and that he's great at being the boss, but it makes mommy mad and confused. And that set Damien off apparently because it seemed like he was
Ticked.
entertained at first. So he goes on about how everyone loves truth. And Finn was like, "I love truth." And they were all like, "We love truth." And then Damien was like, "Except for me." And then hits him with a big boot. They all beat up truth. And then the Creeds start off their superhero era coming out to help our Truth against the Judgment Day. So I'm kind of bummed if this means that this is the end of Truth with Judgment Day.
I don't think it's the end because it's our truth. Like somehow our truth will make it seem like they just got into a
That was my
little
initiation.
family fight.
Yeah, it was his
And that
initiation,
goes
like when you get
initiation's a good
yeah.
one. Like, and it's gonna be a thing to the point where you have like Gable and the faces and whatever stick up for him. And I'm thinking this payoff's on like a Raw. Okay, let's not go crazy with a pay-per-view payoff.
Mm-hmm.
But you have him like stick around because what else are you gonna do right now? And I mean that in the nicest way possible because you want our truth on TV and because of his versatility of pretty much being a comedic element to a show, you can stick him in pretty much anywhere to defuse a tense situation. Yeah, and that's what he's perfect for. And it's leading up for Mania season Royal Rumble. You can make our truth the host of WrestleMania, and no one's gonna say anything negative towards that. Because imagine just random parts of the night at WrestleMania. You have our truth coming out to do something. That's why you have him on TV now, so that you get him like FaceTime. He's interacting with this person, this faction, so that when it gets to that moment, you have like pretty much an established, oh, what's our truth going to do with this guy? Like, there's a plan for it if done right. And he needs to be like the payoff of this needs to be him hosting WrestleMania.
I think that's a stretch, but I mean it's possible.
I
I think he's entertaining. I just was like, I don't know where they go from here, but I'm sure they could figure something out, obviously, to like not end this after 3 weeks because I'm like, this was so
yeah.
good. And that was the thing too, is like, that's why I was saying when we were talking about these full blown heels, it's like the Judgment Day aren't because their last two interactions with our truth, it's like you can't hate him. Like, you can't hate
Yeah.
them because they weren't even being that mean to R-Truth. Like, they were entertaining and like laughing. So it was like,
Yeah,
that's not a full blown heel. You know what I mean? But
that is true. That is true.
um and then we get to what everyone was so hyped about, apparently. And that was CM Punk
Sean,
shocking everybody by signing with Raw. And I'm saying that sarcastically because I don't think anyone was shocked that he was
not
going to sign with Raw.
I had money on NXT.
Okay, sure you did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm joking.
So this is my interpretation, I guess, of what Punk was saying, because he's continuing to be the dog with the tail between his legs every time he's out there in the ring talking to the audience. And I'm here for this. This is literally what I was just saying when he returned and what we were expecting of him to be saying and why people were taking an issue with it. And I said, I don't think that they're not thinking about why he's doing this or the necessity of this. So him coming out and being like kind of corny and talk about, oh, I was kind of like in a sullen mood, but now everybody's cheering for me and I'm so excited. I love you guys. You're so supportive, blah blah blah. And it feels kind of weird. It's like, no, I feel like this is like what needs to happen. He admitted to feeling uncomfortable tonight, and he was talking about another time where he felt uncomfortable in the past, talking about OVW, blah, blah, blah. And since they're in Cleveland, that is where he walked out of WWE almost 10 years ago. So he talks about how he was talking with Indy Hartwell in the back, and she had told him that she felt betrayed by him when he walked out. And he said that he actually understood that feeling because he felt the same way when Roddy Piper left and went to WCW. So this is where I was like, holy moly, when he actually apologized to the fans for walking out on them. And I think I had just said that we needed to get to this point because people were like, I understand people aren't going to hold grudges because especially with the rise of social media, you get to find out a lot of stuff about what's going on behind the scenes that you wouldn't normally know. So people were a little bit more understanding of why Punk decided to leave 10 years ago or whatever, as opposed to
Yeah,
just being betrayed by him. But at the same time, he still did kind of betray them because he left them without notice. He left professional wrestling for a long time, never really provided an explanation, just kept crapping on the company, and he kind of crapped on the fans for a while. So I feel like this was a huge moment that might kind of go overlooked because of what happened after. But I feel
yeah.
like this was a shocking acknowledgement, I would
No,
say.
this was big. This was a big moment, and this is where I see a different CM Punk right now. This is a grown up CM Punk. I saw this a little bit in AEW, but just with how new AEW is and their locker room and the type of culture it is, whatnot. Punk is beyond that. Like he was the main dude in WWE, like
Mhm.
the face, but not the face. You know, the anti-hero face of
Yeah, it was
WWE,
like
like
John Cena
Cena
and
and
CM Punk.
CM Punk. Yeah,
Yeah.
like The Rock Austin. Like that was it. So when you go down to AEW, it's a bit of a downgrade, and you're gonna have these problems because you're so used to so used to things being run a certain way, and that
Mhm.
you miss that. And I think he was burnt out in 2014 when he
Oh, yeah.
walked away. He was burnt out from
Well,
everything.
and the alleged, like, infection or whatever he had, so it
Yeah,
was
I
health stuff
mean,
too,
like there's
apparently.
a legit like issue there with the company that he had to resolve, whatnot. It's under a new regime now, and we've already seen it go over our happen over the past few months, almost a year now, of Triple H running the show. We've had people come back because of it. I mean, Kyrie Sane came
Mhm.
back. That's a huge name to
Mhm.
come back. Johnny Gargano's being featured on Raw and not in some bullshit backstage segment with his 15 other people. You know,
Mhm.
he's utilizing guys that the previous regime did not know how to utilize. Punk sees this is going to come back, and now he knows where he can one make the most money. He already has his friends, he has his life, he's grown up. he can make his money, do business. I mean, if he's going to do business with the man he hates the most, you can do business. Money is money. Money talks.
Mm-hmm.
So I see the CM Punk is a whole different person who's going to want to be the mentor now, and that's why he came back. And it was definitely something discussed between him and Triple H about being a mentor.
I think that'll be an aspect of it, but the fact that he's then talking about how he wants to main event WrestleMania, that's not being a
To
mentor.
be fair, yeah, I know it's a gray area, but that he did get screwed out of that, and it is his story too. I just would like to see it not happen right now because of a hype train, but if it makes sense, do it. That's my
Well,
only. I just
yeah, no, I'm not trying to get in that conversation.
no,
I just
yeah,
mean like
yeah,
a mentor would take a back seat to that, but that's the thing is like he's not going to be in a full mentor role yet because he still has things that he wants to, you know what I mean?
yeah,
So
exactly.
he still wants to main event a WrestleMania because he never got to. And that's the
Mhm.
thing is Seth hasn't either. So I'm not against that possibly happening. And that's why I say my argument is that you can't definitively say in December what the main events are going to be. I don't care. Like, I don't understand why that. Like, I don't get it. Is it like, I was just talking about it again last night with someone who was responding to me on Twitter. And I was like, just last year, we didn't know what the main events were going to be in December. And if you were trying, other than maybe if Cody was coming back, okay, if Cody won the Royal Rumble, maybe he'll face Roman. That was the only one. But if you're going to try to
Mhm.
tell me that we knew in December when Sammy was still in the bloodline that he was going to rejoin forces with Kevin Owens,
Yeah, you
leave the
lying.
bloodline, and then main event night one of Mania for the tag team titles, you're bullshitting. You're
Why?
lying.
You would never thought that.
Exactly.
Agreed.
So that's what I'm saying. Like you can't make these decisions yet. Like Seth and Punk have all the makings of being a main event. And if that's what ends up happening, then yes, of course, I'm here for it because it's like that probably could be the biggest match or the biggest story going into this year's
Ever.
WrestleMania.
It is 1,000%. It's easily, but they got to do it right.
Don't
I
know
think
who's going to
first.
win the Rumble. Like I can't keep repeating myself. It's just like there's too many things in the way. But anyway,
There are. So what will we? Yeah, I'll be frozen again. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Sarah's gone. She'll be. Oh, all right. Well, let's get some comments here then while Sarah fixes this issue. I don't know what's going on here. Well, we got 12 people in here, so I'll remove Sarah. She'll figure it out. And let's see if that works. No. All right. Well, in the meantime, let's get some comments. All right. We're going to talk about Nia, RJ Jr., Gardner. We're going to talk about Nia and Becky and that interaction. Uh, R-Truth is comedic gold in everything he does. I mean, the fact that of one man elevated the 24/7 title like he did, it's absolutely insane to think about. It's absolutely insane to think about that he brought the 24/7 title to relevancy. It's insane. R-Truth has been great since his return. His interaction with the Judgment Day have been solid and solid comedy and breathes life into their promos. Oh, you back? No, where'd you go? Where'd you go, Sarah? Bernard, I need to get to the Rumble too, man. All right. I already got my pool in the works. If anyone is interested, please let me know. Oh, all right. Sarah's gone. She'll be back. Rumble pool. It's one of my favorite things that I do every year. It started in college when my five roommates and I, or four roommates and I, uh, each pick three numbers, and then we get other people to make 10, and you each get three numbers. Your numbers are your numbers for both Royal Rumble matches. If your number wins the Rumble, you get the pot. It's so much fun. Makes the watching the Rumble a little bit more interesting. All right. I don't know what's going on with Sarah's Wi-Fi, but it still will not load her in. I don't know what's happening right now. We're just. Oh, there you are.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Are you delayed?
No,
Oh, okay. No, StreamYard booted me. It's not even my internet.
bizarre.
I don't know. So anyway,
I was getting some comments. Feeling some
okay.
team. All right. So yeah.
Okay. Um there we go. So anyway, so what I was trying to say is I thought this was a moment that was kind of being overshadowed with like Seth Rollins and CM Punk felt like the fact that he actually acknowledged something that I feel like he never has actually openly talked about, or at least
Mhm.
publicly, and addressed the fans directly, which that is a that is something that like I think that fans had the right to be upset about. And I've said that. Like I even just said it a week ago when we were talking about his promos and whatever. So I think that's huge. And I don't really understand why people aren't like seeing it that way. I don't know. I
Mhm.
think it might just be because of Seth, but I understand Seth Rollins coming face to face. Oh, did I? What? I even forgot to write CM Punk. Seth Rollins come face to face. What?
What?
Comes face to face with CM Punk. What am I
What's
doing?
up?
I was drunk. Hold on. Okay, here we go. So then
Here we go.
after CM Punk decides that he is going to sign with Raw, he says he's home, starts to like celebrate, and then we get Seth music, and everybody lost their minds, I have to say, because
Yeah,
yeah.
I did. I did. I lost
Um
my mind a little bit.
and
Up.
this is what makes this moment even better, okay? There was no producer listed for
Yeah,
this
I saw
segment.
this. I
So
saw
that means
this.
they trusted these boys to just go at it.
Oh,
So Team Seth
sweet
Rollins, first of
victory.
all, and don't even get me started because you're a traitor. I don't want to hear it.
I'm not a
So
traitor. I
yes,
am
you
just
are.
going. I am going with my heart.
Yeah, you're a traitor. So Seth
See.
Rollins lets him have it. Okay. He tells
Yeah.
him, just kind of gives him a rundown of everything that has gone on since Punk left and what Punk did since he left. Seth brings up how he actively tried to tear the company down, and he slandered the company, slandered him and every other person in that locker room. And yet he wants to just kind of waltz back in like nearly 10 years later, call it home and act like everything's fine. And the people who are against him, they're the problem, blah, blah, blah. He says he's offended, and the fact that you were saying that this is home, that these are your family, they're my family. The fans are my family, and all of these people in the back are my brothers and sisters. And I am going to do whatever it takes to protect them from a guy like you. And then he gets straight to the point and is just like, I hate you. And I marked. I
Oh,
marked.
it was when he. I haven't heard that much seriousness in a long time. He genuine like that was from the gut. You don't say I hate you like that unless you viscerally hate somebody.
Yeah, I marked out a little bit because I was like, yes, Seth, just let him have it. So he said that Seth is Punk is going to either self-destruct like he always does, and hopefully, if that's what happens, he will be right there to slam the door shut in his face. Or he said maybe Punk has changed, and if he's lucky enough, he'll be able to face off with him for the world title. And I'm probably in the minority here, but I didn't like how Punk responded. I feel like how everything that he had said leading up to Seth coming out, great. I thought it was what he needed to do, how he
Mhm.
said it. I felt like it was great. But then Punk coming back at him, basically just doubling down on what Punk just said about himself. The first thing he says, "Are you done?" I was like, see, I didn't.
You're better than that.
I,
You it's
I,
you're better than that.
I just felt like it was like two different punks. You know what I mean? It was like the apologetic, like humbled, uh, I don't know, new CM Punker that we're supposed to believe is like a matured person who's changed since 10 years ago. And then he immediately reverted back to the CM Punk that we know by being like, are you done? And it's like, I get it. Seth's presentation, I guess, wasn't the most respectful, hence why, Punk said, This is the only pass you get for being disrespectful to me. But I felt like this could have been handled differently because he knows what he did when he left. He knows all the shit that he talked, especially about Seth Rollins. Like, there's a reason why Seth is going to feel this way. So it kind of reminds me of like the uh the situation with Drew, where it's kind of like you're supposed to not like what Seth said because he's like disrespecting CM Punk, but then at the same time, you kind of can't be mad at what he said because he's not saying anything wrong. He's saying the truth. So that's why it's like kind of, I didn't know if I really liked how Punk responded.
His response to me was vanilla because I know that it wasn't going to go on. You know, if that went on, if that was going to go on and I knew it was going to go on, then I'd be like, really? And I'd be on your side. But you knew that Seth was going to say his piece. Punk was going to get the last word because it's his segment technically, and Seth came out on him, so he needs to come out on top. And all he did was just double down that he's going to be in the Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of made it clear that if he wins said Rumble, that he's going after Seth. And that's all you want is a little bit of that. Oh, he said it, kind of that visual that you get as the fan.
Mm-hmm.
And you know that next week Punk's going to return and say some shit along the lines of, well, you know, this is your home, but it wouldn't be your home if guys like me, Kofi Kingston, in the back didn't grind our way and put the company on the map to where it is today, or some, you know, shit like that.
Well, he might not even address anything about Seth again for a while. We might have just been like the tease, you know, and then we won't get it for a bit. Because I think that it's another one, like we were saying earlier. Sorry, I got hiccups. Where they want to present it early so that it's in our mind and it's not just like a dream fantasy booking situation. It's like, no, they hear us and they know that this is what people want. And I wouldn't be surprised if they don't touch it for a bit, because Punk is having a match, is it in 2 weeks against Dominic is his first match, and then maybe he'll feud with the Judgment Day or something a little bit, I don't know, and then they can like revisit this again like closer to the Rumble, because there's just so much time, so you don't want to like over exhaust this anything that you could possibly use if Punk does win the Rumble, which I pray to the wrestling gods he doesn't. If this is going to be the eventual matchup anyway, you don't want to do too much early, because then you don't have a whole lot to then do between the Rumble and Mania, you know?
Yeah.
That's my only thing. But
if Punk wins the Rumble, I will go. Like, I want someone so nonsensical to win the Rumble, like Drew McIntyre. Like, I would rather Drew McIntyre over CM Punk win the Rumble.
It's so hard because you know what you feel like the matches at the Rumble or at Mania are going to be like. It seems obvious that we're going to get Punk versus Seth at this point, even if I'm saying it's too early to call it a main event. I mean, it seems like, yeah, it's going to happen. It feels like that should be a Mania event, not a Rumble or Elimination Chamber match. But then you also think about it being Cody versus Roman part 2, and it seems like, okay, well, the only logical scenario for that to happen is for Cody to win the Rumble. But do you really want to have Cody win the Rumble 2 years in a row? But then if it is somebody outside of Cody or Punk, then who is it, and who is going to be champion? Because that's the thing. There's people who feel like Drew getting a match at day one, that maybe Drew wins and then he's out of the scenario, because then him being champion at Mania opens other doors for people to face him. Doesn't mean to be the main event at Mania, because even at this point you could say it's possible to have a good feud for Drew if he becomes champion between the Rumble, or I'm sorry, day one and Mania. But it feels like Trump. It feels like Punk and Rollins would trump that match to be a main event, is what I was trying to say.
Yes.
And it feels like a feud that's bigger than the title. The title doesn't mean anything in this situation. It's like someone who has been the should be the face of WWE and Seth Rollins, and the guy who had been but walked away from it all and then shit on that place for getting him to that point. It would be like those two guys going at it, and it has nothing to do with the title. And I feel like if you're someone who wants to see that match really bad, I get it, but I don't think that the title needs to be involved because it would almost become a prop in that situation. It
Yeah,
would have
that's the last
nothing
thing
to
you
do
need.
with the title.
You can't have the title that you just introduced 6 months ago, maybe even less, to be a prop. That's the last
And that's
thing
how
you
it
need
feels like
to.
this would be,
It
because
does.
he would only be challenging Seth because he wants to face Seth because Seth's the champion. It's not even because he's the champion. Like it's like, no, we just want to see CM Punk versus Seth. It's not he's wants to go after the championship. That's not really what it is. His main focus is I want a main event WrestleMania. And the easiest way for me to do that is winning the Royal Rumble and choosing you because you're champion. That's the easiest way, but that's not the only way. So, I mean, and look at the women. Rhea and Charlotte didn't main event, yet technically
But
Rhea won. But what I'm
yeah,
saying is like it doesn't mean that the men have to main event either, just because they win the Royal Rumble is what I'm saying. Like,
I agree. I believe that a women's title match, if you're gonna have 2 nights of WrestleMania, a women's title match should main event it. And the only exception I feel like you could have had was last year with the
mhm.
tag team titles because that's making history in another sense where you need so it trumps that where you need to go back to that. Okay, if you're gonna have 2 nights, women main event one night, men main event the other. And with how Roman Reigns is going right now, you have him night 2.
And I think that they have plenty of time to build it up that way. Just put more effort into the women to get people to care. I mean, because Charlotte and Rhea put on a hell of a match. Like I said, arguably one of
Match
the
of the
best
year.
matches this year. Not even just women, one of the best matches this year. And they didn't put a whole lot into that feud. It came down to like the last 2 weeks where they had them like brawling and whatever. And then you were like, oh, okay, sure. But like otherwise, there wasn't a whole lot there to get people excited about it.
No,
But then the way they
just wanted
did
to
the
see it.
match made you be like, oh shit, that should have been. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
we wanted more
So
build
I
up.
think it's possible, but yeah, I don't know, man. I don't
Easy
know.
answer, easy question. Actually, hold on. I'll wait till we get to that banner.
Okay.
Are we there? Um,
Oh, I was gonna
well, I
say
mean,
Drew
we
McIntyre,
already
as I said, yeah. So it's possible people are thinking that maybe this is where they have um McIntyre win, which I would be here for, not just because I'm a McIntyre fan, but then because I would also be fine with like Punk doesn't need to win the Royal Rumble to face Seth Rollins. So and Seth Rollins doesn't need to be champion to face CM Punk. So like
yo
I don't know that Seth needs to be champion for that to happen.
Sarah, want me to blow your mind right now?
It's not going to happen, but okay.
All right. Well, can you just have hope? It's the
No.
holiday season.
I need to be
Ring
here to
that
humble. I
bell.
need to humble you.
I know, but like ring that bell that
No.
Tom Hanks Santa
Nope.
gave you. Come on.
No.
All right. Well, I'm gonna try at least to blow the minds of the peeps at least.
All right.
Um, day one. Okay. You get Drew, Seth. It's a blood battle. All right.
It
Great
needs to
main
be.
event. You
It needs to
have
be
a
like
cash
40
in.
minutes. It needs
Yeah,
to be
40
like a
minutes.
pay-per-view. Yeah.
Totally fine with that.
Yeah.
Cash in. Damian Priest. He takes the title opportunity away from Drew once again. Once again, someone else is taking what Drew believes is his. Okay. Damian Priest is champion. Seth can get a rematch at Royal Rumble. And then you have Seth go into the Royal Rumble match. Or he doesn't have to be in the Royal Rumble match. Because actually, this works out. He's not in the Royal Rumble match for this scenario. But CM Punk is. And it comes down to the final four. CM Punk's in it. You know it's going to happen. Just steer into the skid. Who cost CM Punk a shot at the world title? But Seth Rollins. By throwing him out. And what you do there is Seth lost his title. Ain't no way you're going to challenge for my title after you just waltz your way back in here after 10 years, all the shit you said about the company, this, that, and the other thing. And then Punk says, I don't care. Boom, you already know. That could be a WrestleMania main event between them, and you don't need the title.
But then
Because you have
would
Drew.
you would say Drew versus Damian would be a Mania match?
I could see Drew versus maybe Drew, Sammy, and Damian. Because Sammy deserves a world title match at WrestleMania. And with the three of them still intertwining right now, I think you could do that.
And then Drew could win and have his Mania moment.
Damian Priest does not need the title long. He just needs the physical image and the holding of his title to know that one day he can be a future champion. Because if years down the line you hear that Damian Priest was a 4-time WWE champion, would you be surprised?
No,
you're not.
No, actually, that's not a bad idea. I apologize, but it's not a bad idea. Okay, do you want to get to some comments before we?
I would love to get some comments because we've been. Oh God, David does not like Logan Paul. Can't really display that.
I don't either, bro.
Because
I understand.
Ads. We're trying to get paid, so we can't have certain words pop up. Help us get paid so we can do this more often. Urban, you have the best card. I hit a comment that probably was for someone else. This makes good sense. Story arc for Punk. Punk and Cody are heroes for the journey. Finish the story. Two huge face in a strange
I don't like
way.
him using the same line as Cody. I didn't particularly like that.
I think that's I think that's a WWE thing.
I just want to be like, no, let that be Cody's thing. Like,
yeah, I think
Cody's busted his ass to get to this point, Punk. I'm not saying Punk didn't, but like he was at the point 10 years ago that Cody's at now. So it's like, let him have something. Like, just let him have that.
Gunther to win the Rumble.
I know, but I still feel like they're probably gonna keep him Intercontinental Champion going into Mania, and then maybe we do get him versus Brock. But the thing is Brock can't win. So
what if he beats Brock for the Intercontinental title?
He has the Intercontinental title, dude.
No, Brock Gunther Intercontinental title match. He beats Brock for it
to retain.
Whatever, tomato potato.
Okay, I was like, no, that's different. Winning the title is different than retaining.
I meant, you know what I meant. All right.
No, I didn't. I thought you were saying that he lost it. How dare you?
I'm sorry, but like, there's a lot of thoughts happening.
Okay,
and Brock Lesnar versus Gunther at Mania would be pretty cool, Sarah.
As long as Gunther wins. Otherwise, I am not going to be happy.
I think Brock would put over Gunther.
He has to, right? He has to. He doesn't need to be champion. I know, but that's Cody. They're not.
But he didn't have to raise his hand like that.
Yeah, well, I mean, that would, I mean, if I want Gunther to win, but, if it, I mean, so who in your scenario did you say would win the Rumble? You didn't pick, did you? You just said that Seth would cost Punk.
It would have to be Cody.
I mean, whatever.
Or you could have Sammy win the Rumble, but Damian or Drew, it gets murky, but it could happen. There's a way where it could happen.
Win, yeah. I don't know. We can think about it.
That's a good blueprint.
Okay, yeah, we'll think about it.
We're gonna table that for a Thursday show when we
Friday. Can't do it this week on Thursday.
Oh, that's right. You have the Christmas show. I forgot. Okay. All right, let's hide that and let's go on to the next topic.
Okay, so we can just talk about this quickly. Becky Lynch, they're giving some more backstory to her feud with Nia Jax. So their interaction was interesting, and I think because Nia is just naturally unlikable, and so her being a heel, and actually she didn't do that badly on the mic this time, which we have been critical of her since she came back, and this wasn't that bad. So Nia basically just thinks that she is responsible for Becky's rise in WWE because of the infamous breaking of the nose, the man moment, and Becky wants to prove that that's not true even more by beating her. Becky calls her out and for all the trash that she talked over the years, especially since she left. And Nia says, okay, well, you guys couldn't stop talking about me even after I was fired. And I was like, that's a good point, girlfriend. Um, so
We did
she's,
talk about her a lot.
yeah. So Becky,
I didn't.
you know, puts her hair back and is like begging Nia to take another shot at her. And Nia's like, you need this way more than I do. So she leaves the ring. And so I'm loving this whole thing with Triple H, that some of these heels are just like, I don't feel like fighting you today. I just
It's
don't. I love it. I'm just like, I love that this is happening. And now we have it with the girls, because, we saw it with Shinsuke, and I forget who else did we see it
Io.
recently. Oh yeah, it's like I want to see. I like that we're doing it more often, because it does make more sense. Like, you're giving the baby face what they want by like punching them or like whatever. So I love that Nia's like, not today, girl. Look, I'm too good for this.
Nah,
I'm
I
not gonna give
don't
you another
feel
viral moment.
like it.
Yeah.
Like, I
So
as much as I do hate, like, not I'm not really the biggest fan of Nia Jax. I loved this segment with her and
mhm.
Becky. I gotta give her props here. I mean, yeah, there's times where doing what she did is just like lazy and like really
Cause
like no reason.
when they showed that replay of the punch, that girl she went full out in that
I
punch.
didn't
I
realize
was like, what were you trying to do if it wasn't breaking her nose?
she's like, I was swinging, I wasn't even aiming like that.
Mm,
Great heel, great.
yeah,
I mean,
but girl, girl,
great kayfabe.
yeah. But
Quote.
let's not lie. Let's not
Yeah,
lie.
let's not tell me when I'm telling lies. It's the I loved how she was just everything Teflon. It felt like she's really Teflon in
Yeah.
that segment where anything Becky said, it would bounce right off her. Didn't matter
Hmm.
to her. She's like, "Oh, yeah, like you say this. Well, I was still being talked about, see
Yeah.
here, like I'm the one." It was always relating it back to herself, and that's something that can get really annoying if it doesn't make sense. But for this, Nia's the bully. She wants to
Yeah.
squash you. She doesn't care what you have to say because what you've said isn't registering up here. It's all about her. I love that for Nia, and it's the perfect, butting heads with Becky, who's all about just I need to beat you. I need
Yeah.
to beat you to just silence everything. And here's the thing: have it go like 2 or 3 matches.
I
Have
was
Nia
actually
win one.
I was surprised at how much more interested I was in this than I thought I was going to be. Because when you talk about it, it's kind of like, like I don't want to see this. But I think Nia kind of won me over a little bit in this moment, at least for the time being. I don't know how this is going to progress, but she did way better than I was expecting, especially against Becky, who hasn't been historically great at speaking either, but she's gotten much better over the years, obviously. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, I felt like she hung in there with Becky and like made this interesting. And so like I'm looking forward to whenever they have a match or how this keeps going, because like they've both been pretty stagnant. Basically, Becky has been since she lost the NXT women's title. And then Nia has just been squashing, so it's like I get it. They were trying to build her up to be this dominant figure in the women's division, but like
Mhm.
they've not really been a part of a solid storyline. So this is cool because there is history there, and it's not just, oh, let's throw Becky to Nia because we want Nia to be over and show that she can hang with the big guns, in the division. This actually makes sense.
The line she had about Nia's knees broke, they couldn't even support her or something was so out of pocket and so funny. Like that's when you know that there's gonna be a good feud and stuff like that. Like they're going in on each other, and it's like there's some bad blood there for sure, and you're actually gonna see it pay off, which it's nice to see Becky be in a feud like that where it doesn't have to be for a title. It's just
Hmm.
out of personal. I want to and need to beat you.
This is why Becky's the GOAT. Okay. Just setting that clear again. Um,
Well, because there's no title involved, so
yeah, that's why
Miss
she's the GOAT.
Flair. Miss Flair
Yeah.
doesn't need to be involved. Oh, but the Cleveland Browns title was on the line in this matchup.
Okay. Okay. So anyway, we find out that Imperium are going to be in a triple
Six-man tag.
6-man tag. I'm like, what is wrong with me? And a 6-man tag, but we don't know who DIY's third partner is going to be. And it was like, oh my God, who's it going to be? As if people really cared. And this is me loving DIY, just not in this moment because they're going against my boys. So I can't. And they shock us all when they have the Miz.
Did it really shock you?
No, but and this is the thing, okay? So no, it didn't surprise me because of Miz's connection to Gunther and the backstory with him and Ciampa, whatever, right? So it's like, okay, but I like that this was a moment that the commentary team is allowed to be like, this makes no sense. Like, what is going on here? Like, he did this to Ciampa and blah blah blah, because this is a Vince move that we would all have to pretend like never happened before. But the fact that Cole was calling it out and being like, what the hell? I was like, I'm so here for this because that's what fans are thinking, like even during the Vince times where he was doing that and we were like, what is going on? But then they thought you were stupid enough to not remember or like not care. Like, I like that they're now allowed to actually like have an opinion on some of these weird stuff that's going on. So I appreciate that in that aspect.
Yeah, once I saw Cleveland, I was like,
Yeah,
yeah,
we should have known.
they're going for the hometown connection. And
Yeah.
also low-key spoiled for me on
Well,
Twitter,
also
so.
Gargano's from Cleveland, so that's probably
Cleveland
why they won, which
connection.
is still stupid. But anyway,
And who took the fall, Sarah? Sarah, who took the fall?
I was talking about this with somebody, and someone said, did Vinci like sleep with Stephanie McMahon or something? Because why is Triple H purposely punishing this man?
Your guess is as good as mine. Usually I play the antagonist role a little bit to get you riled up, obviously. But like, I'm kind of with you after what you've shown me with Vinci and the potential he could be on his own, and even more so the potential that Imperium could be as a dominant tag team in the tag division. It makes absolutely no sense to me. So something's gotta be going on that they are setting Ludwig for this unbelievable singles push after Gunther, because nothing else makes sense to me of why Vinci just keeps taking the fall. I mean, Kaiser took it last week. Play into that role of him taking the fall, and then you have Gunther yelling him. That's 2 weeks in a row you took the fall, and then you could really have them kind of not implode, but like both guys are just not getting wins. It's not just Vinci; it's both guys.
I know.
And then you have them like pretty much on an ultimatum that like you win or you don't come back, and then they just go ape shit.
Well,
Like,
because
just
it's like, this is
full
so
heel.
stupid. This is
I
so
don't get
stupid.
it.
It doesn't make any sense. Like, I just don't like it when Gunther is involved and they have Imperium lose. Like, I know that he doesn't take the pin because obviously like he's safe from that at this point, but I still don't like it because it's like, I don't know. It kind of taints him, I feel like, a little bit. But again, like I've said a million times, because I don't want to get into this conversation for the millionth time, why would Gunther associate himself with losers? That's the thing. Like, at this point, we should believe that we would be on okay with him kicking Vinci out because he's the one who keeps losing. But this is why I'm like, I'm convinced that Triple H has some sort of vendetta against him because there's literally no reason for this to keep happening. That doesn't make any sense. I also don't know why it made any sense for DIY to even win this match other than the fact that it was in their hometown, which is not even something that they don't cater to that though.
They don't.
Not really anymore. Beth Phoenix
No, I'm with
lost the
you.
title in her hometown. So it's like,
Yeah, I'm with you there. I have no, there's like Vinci should have got the win.
I know.
Like, that would have been that's
and,
how you build story.
And for how often they go to Cleveland, like, you don't need to like give them preferential treatment. They go to Cleveland like 4 times a year. Like, it's not like, oh, we've never been here before. Like when they go to Germany, if they do something cool for Kaiser or Imperium or whatever, yeah, it's because it's the first time they've gone to Germany. But it's like, Cleveland? We need to be like nice to the guys from Cleveland.
It's like going to California and having the Cali guy win. Or Boston or New York. It's just stupid. Selena Vega lost in Puerto Rico.
I know, exactly.
Like, come on.
Yeah. So then after the match, we see Gunther is backstage and
I
he's
hope
basically just
he gets
berating the boys because
squashed.
they got the loss. And Miz approaches him and demands a rematch because they just got the win. And he hit a skull crushing finale on Vinci, who always gets pinned, as if that's impressive, Miz. But anyway. Um, so Gunther says that the only way that he will give him a rematch is on one condition, and that is when he retains his Intercontinental title over the Miz, that the Miz cannot challenge him ever again as long as he is the Intercontinental Champion. And the Miz said, okay. He agrees to that. And I swear to God, dude, I swear to God, do not take this title off Gunther and give it to the Miz. Okay. Do not do it, Triple H. Do not do it. Don't. Just don't. Just don't.
I
Mm-mm.
really have nothing else of substance to add other than please, for the love of God, do not do this. Not only for my safety, but I can't deal with I can't. Sarah, love you girl, but I can't be we can't be having the vibes that you are going to be vibing out in the artist dreams if Gunther loses the title. Not only loses the title, but lose it to the goddamn Miz.
Mm-hmm.
You're
That's why
great.
you
You're
also
the
better pray it doesn't happen at Mania.
oh well see that's different.
But then you're
All right,
sitting next
because
to me and you have to
yeah,
deal with
but
it.
Chad Gable's gonna win then. And
I
like
don't
that's
care.
okay. But
No.
we
We
can't have
were
the
just talking about
Miz
Brock Lesnar
him
at
beating him.
Mania.
Oh, well, I always have two plans.
All right. Well,
So then
anyway.
you're never disappointed.
Anyway, so I hope this doesn't happen. They didn't say when this match is going to happen. I'm assuming it's going to be on day one. They're probably just going to stack it like it's a pay-per-view during the week. Which that's fine. I just feel like the Miz has no reason to win. So, especially if they're trying to make Gunther have the longest like combined reigns, then which is funny because he's only had one reign. But if they're trying to make him like the longest ever out of everything, then there's no reason for him to lose. So, if Triple H wants to mess with that and he wants to be sued for me breaking my legs when I jump out the window, then that's on him. That's the decision he's gonna make,
Yeah,
I
I
guess.
can't trips can't do it. So figure it out.
And then we just have the main event, and then we can get to comments. So we have Cody Rhodes versus Shinsuke Nakamura, ends in a DQ, and the Creeds. That was weird. So
It was weird. It was the
yeah,
Creeds were very weird.
yeah, it was weird. So this was a match I was very excited about. Glad that it was the main event. I was kind of surprised in a way, like I said at the beginning, that this was a match that was happening already because this felt like something that was going to happen closer to the Rumble or something. But I guess we got to get Cody Rhodes out of a feud before the Rumble because he's probably going to win it, I guess, to face Roman. So I don't have a whole lot to say about this match other than it was good. I think that they could do better if they had more time and had it not ended in the way that they did because it ended with the miss. But I want to understand, was that made an automatic disqualification now?
Oh, I see.
No,
Okay, I see.
I'm asking a question. I'm actually asking. Did they say that if he used the mist, was it a DQ?
I don't think they said that, and I'm seeing what
So
you're saying because Asuka doesn't get DQ'd for it.
Tajiri didn't get DQ'd for it. Did the Great
Well, that's a
Muta?
different era.
But I'm just saying, still,
That's
like it's
New Japan.
historically it's not been. But I'm like, I don't recall them saying that he couldn't use the mist. So it's very confusing.
Oh, it was right in front of the ref. Okay, well then,
But
yeah, in
still,
that case.
though, like we're not dumb. Like he gets hit in the face with the mist behind the ref's back, and then he turns around and he's covered in red spit. Like you're really saying that the ref is like, I didn't see what happened. I don't know. Like
You
this
started
is
oozing.
it's like it's so stupid. It's like with
Oozing.
Asuka, she's got blue and green mist, and we're supposed to believe that just because it happened behind the ref's back, that he doesn't recognize that that's what happened. I can't guarantee it was you, even though your
Listen,
teeth are blue and it's dripping out of your mouth and it's all over Bianca's face. I don't know that you did it. Like, come on. That's stupid.
this is why I love wrestling because the rules like this are so
Wrestling is
arbitrary sometimes.
it's so stupid in that
It's
way. It's
so
just so
stupid,
dumb.
but it's so awesome.
Um,
Because then you get the mist. Like this is why I'm okay with it, is because you get Shinsuke using the mist and it ends and Cody's like, whoa, like I didn't think he'd pull it out in a fight or whatever. And he's dazed, confused. So it to me just stretches out the story element of it about like the good and evil. And then
mhm.
you have the attack afterwards, which kind of puts a statement that like, yeah, I'm like dancing around things, but like you have the attack afterwards that kind of solidifies that he would have been DQ'd. I don't know. It was a wonky finish, but I'm okay with it being a wonky finish
Well,
because
because it just
I
means
want
it's
to see
gonna
more of
keep
it.
going.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was fine, and then the part that was just weird is the creeds. Because, like, the creeds
I
coming
have no
out
answer.
in defense of our truth made more sense just because they're going to be having a tag team title match against Judgment Day. So, like, okay, cool. Like, you're just gonna go out there and help whoever they're beating up. But why'd you come out for Cody Rhodes? Like, I am not. I'm not aware of the connection there.
The only thing that I can kayfabe think of would be like your mentor, or
I guess, but we haven't
you're
seen that.
trying to.
We can't think like that if we haven't seen it. Otherwise, they like I said, they look like the superheroes. Like they're just like, "Oh, I'm here to save the day," and you're like, "Okay."
Well, have you seen Julius Creed's strength? That man is a
I know,
motherfucking
but it's
superhero.
still like really random. But
Oh, it's extremely random. But didn't you like seeing the Creeds though? To come out in the main event, you're like, oh shit, they're really pushing these guys. It makes you have a little
yeah.
excitement for the tag division.
I wanted to get to this really quick. RJ Jr. says, "Why do you guys always skip the women's tag team match on Raw? LOL, y'all forgot about it last week too."
Oh,
Because
someone's keeping
usually,
tabs on us, Sarah.
I know.
I love
First of
it.
all, thank
That's
you for watching
yeah.
consistently.
Seriously,
Second,
let's talk about it.
Secondly, I will pick and choose things that didn't have like a significant impact on the show, and that sometimes it happens to be the tag match. I skip a lot of backstage segments. I've skipped men's. Like I didn't even talk about Bronson Reed versus Ivar. We didn't
We
add
didn't
that to
talk
the
about Monday Night Meat like we didn't.
yeah. And the reason I do that is because we already talked about all of these other things and we're already at an hour and 15 minutes. And I don't think anyone wants to sit here and watch us for an hour and a half or longer. That's why I
Yo,
usually
that's
do it.
crazy
If
if
you
we
guys
do.
want us to talk about
Yo,
literally almost every single aspect of the show, then let us know, because if that's what you want, then we can try and cater to that. But
oh
usually
yeah,
I try to make it as, like substantive, if that's a word, as possible so that
yeah.
we have good conversation. And if I feel like, the women's tag match, we don't have a whole lot to say other than we love Chelsea Green and Piper. We love the after
I
party. So it's
know.
great that they're going to be able to face off with the tag titles. Sure. But other than that, I just felt like we wouldn't have a whole lot to say. And that's why I was like,
Yeah,
that's fine.
that's crazy that we have three people here saying we do.
Oh,
It's
wow.
incredible.
Okay.
It's just like, like I was just talking to my buddy about this today who does content. Like, I we I have no one else to talk about wrestling here.
Hmm.
So for me, I can't just go up and be like, Dad, you heard it? Like it just I'm not 7 years old anymore. I'm 27.
Yeah.
And when you have a space to do it, I mean, we'll go on for as long as you want. It's just we want to keep it like a show.
Well,
However,
and sometimes we only have like 4 people watching, and so that makes it seem like, okay, like we had a good number of you guys in there today, which is great. But it's not consistent. And so that's why sometimes when it's just like a few people who maybe aren't interacting as much in the comments, then it
yeah,
makes it feel like even more, okay, let's cut out this part. Let's cut out this part because like no one's here,
no one, yeah.
So
Like
um
SmackDown last week. We only had like 5 people here for the entirety of the show, and we hit on
mhm.
and his thing, SmackDown, 2 hours. You can go through
Yeah,
all
yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
it
Yeah.
in a shorter time, whatever. And, we only had 5 people here, so we went through the show a lot quicker, but today we had comments, love it. We had new peeps in, which was awesome. I think Urban Nation is, the dude on Twitter who followed us, has been interacting. Shout out Urban Nation, who I think it is. And at
Mhm.
this point, bro, it's like midnight your time over in the UK. Incredible that you're
Oh,
still
he's
up
in the
because
UK? That's awesome.
found that out. He's in the UK. For someone who gets up at 4 in the morning every day
Storming.
to like for someone who gets up at 4 in the morning every day and go sell fish for however long before I come home and actually do this, like, bro, thank you. Thank you very
No,
much.
I
You
know. I
guys are good
appreciate
listening.
this love is really cool, guys.
It's really
We really appreciate it. Cause
give a like.
we don't get this a lot. And the comments that we get that we respond to, it's not always the nicest. So
Not always the nicest.
we
Not always the
appreciate it.
nicest. Yes, the champ loves his peeps. All
I
right,
will
thank you.
definitely keep this in mind when I am putting together the SmackDown notes and moving forward. If we don't have like, I guess maybe if you know, if we see that not a lot of people are interacting, then I'm going to assume the people who want us to listen or want to listen to us for a long time, maybe they're not here. But if you guys watch, like rewatch the live streams, then I guess we should just talk about everything. Because if you actually sit
Yeah,
back and rewatch, then I don't want to not talk about something that you want us to talk about, because you guys are the reason why we're doing this. Like, it's not just because we want to talk about wrestling, it's because we get to interact with you guys and you guys let us know your opinions and if we're crazy or not crazy. So if something is, you know, you feel like something is important enough for us to talk about, then I want to make sure that we do that, because
yeah.
we're thankful that you guys take the time to sit here for an hour and a half and watch us, you know?
Yeah, it's awesome. And the Thursday show, which we've structured to be just the hodgepodge, I would say, of wrestling. Like, if you guys
Mhm.
want to hear like questions for that show, all right, it helps my job, makes my job a lot easier. Like, we can just talk about what you guys want to hear. You just send it in the comments below. DM us. Urban Nation already follows us. Pat_Pitts and at SMarshXO. DMs are always open. I mean, Bernard's
Mhm.
in mine, sending me
Mhm.
stuff, interacting. And I
I try to get
appreciate it.
back to
Love
people.
it.
I'm on Twitter more.
Yeah, I'm
So
on Twitter way
if
more.
if you send me anything on Instagram, I'm on there like every few days. Like, I'm not really.
I,
It's
I
because
would
I have a personal account and then an open public account, and I tend to stay on my personal. So that's why
make
it's like, if
sense.
you're trying to talk, then probably message me on Twitter, because that's where I'll be.
Yeah, Instagram Pitsy35. I post stories and whatnot, and I'm trying to do more videos, kind of trying to break that mold of just getting on camera and just doing things. That's gonna be my New Year's resolution. Talk to my
Okay.
therapist about it. We're like really excited about it. And yeah, but the series, like, the if you want to hear different things you want to talk about, let us know. DM us. I'll put in the show. We'll do fun stuff. We'll make it happen.
Mhm.
And yeah. All right. Just me golfing. Oh, I love that, Vinny. I love that for you. I love golf.
He
Along
understands
with
my
wrestling.
pain because he's in Vegas, so he understands what it's like to not have real seasons.
No, I
So
haven't seen sucks. Winter's awesome right now. It's a nice, what is it, 37 degrees out.
we're gonna be
Beautiful.
78 next week.
That's disgusting.
I
It
know.
is December.
This
That
is
is
when I
ridiculous.
wanna off myself usually. It's like, I just wanna, like, jump off the face of the planet, because I just wanna go be, like, in Antarctica or something. I just wanna be somewhere where it's cold and wintry, but anyway.
Thank you guys. Can't say it enough. Thank you for tuning into this edition of the Raw Rewind. We back on Friday. All right,
Mhm.
Friday. This week, same time. All right, just a different day. Friday, right before SmackDown. And as I said, send in questions. We'll do stuff on the show. The third Thursday this week, Friday show is just more about Sarah and I showing off our fandom. Okay, we have the two shows here where we break things down using our fandom, but wrestling mind. But then Thursday shows where we really show our love for the industry, business, and everything is wrestling. And we do other stuff that's not just WWE. You have an AEW question, send it in. Do you like the indies like I do and have someone that you are following, or we should be following, send us in. All right, I'll give you one right now. Victorious BRG, good pal from the from college. Go check him out. And then my personal favorite, who I checked out on the stream, Becca. So check them out at MLW. And yeah, that's all I got. Thank you guys. We'll see you on Friday. Thanks for tuning in. God bless. Remember that you can do it. All you got to do is try. See you on Friday. Yeah.